Well, 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 welcome to the Architects of Fate streaming extravaganza. That's right, you found the self-proclaimed original Twitch TTRPG stream that lets you shake up our world. Now pay attention because this is how it works. If you'd like to add some loops to this roller coaster ride of a show, you're gonna need Fate Chips. Now these magical loyalty points can be earned just by watching, following, hosting, subscribing, or just engaging with us in the chat. It's like free money, Pete. With your Fate Chips, you can use your powers as an architect to heal your favorite players, summon items that will make their adventure a lot easier, or a lot harder. You can even make players say or sing outrageously silly things. Think of those possibilities. But wait, there is more. You can also toss our unsuspecting heroes into random encounters that will leave them sweating, strategizing, and questioning their life choices. All it takes is a quick redeem command in the chat. You choose the item or action and the player you want to mess with, and we'll take it from there. So sit back, relax, and prepare yourselves for a mind-blowing spectacle of storytelling and mayhem. We've got adventure, we've got drama, and more surprises than a clown car at a kid's birthday party. So let's go!
Hello and welcome to all you lords and ladies of fate. So good to have you back, the Architects of Fate. Wow, I just went for the old intro. It was. Hello and welcome all you Architects of Fate. It's been a couple weeks since we've been together, but it hasn't been that long. So I'm just gonna blame the weather. We're gonna say it's the weather. So good to have you for another streaming of Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of, where hopefully we will entertain and excite you with our barbarous and exciting tales of sword slinging, adventuring, and all of the other fun 80s hack and slash adventures that we all remember and love. I would like to introduce my cast for today. As always, we have our man behind the scenes and genius keeping us running, our moderator, Nat, keeping us going. I am, of course, your GM. I am playing the part of Crom, who cares not for your worries. My name is Chance. For my cast, we have Verai playing the scary assassin.
Okay.
Wait, no, sorry.
Okay.
Words. Man, I'm really doing a good job, but that's okay. We have Thornitius, our Bosonian archer and ranger of the far western wilderness. We have Abertak, the Zamoran witch hunter, raised from thiefhood to hunt down witchhood. We have Zhang, the exotic and far-off emissary of Katai, cousin to the boar, the far-off and exotic brigand. Finally, we have Zinnia, the mercenary queen herself.
Yay.
The last couple of sessions, we've had a variety of folks that have been or haven't been able to make it, so we're a little scattered on exactly where we're standing. But would you guys like to catch up your fellow players and the audience with where exactly we are and why? Anybody? Going once? Going twice?
So we were hunting witches.
So there they were, hunting witches.
Now we're headed off to a cursed place. People have been having nightmares, terrible dreams. But here's what what really happened last time. We got a really strong indication somebody was gonna arrange an attack along the way to have us conveniently not come back from an expedition to the haunted forest nearby. where there are Asheronian ruins. Acheron being a fallen civilization, many times worse than Stygia ever thought about being. So we have to take it very seriously, at least my character does, even though it seems like we're going to be attacked along the way. So we had asked Xenia, our warrior princess, queen, sorry, I demoted you, who I believe was really the only character among us who had a lot of like warfare tactics going on, to figure out like if we were going to be ambushed, where along the route would it be, and how would we counter ambush the ambush? There you
And
go.
she rolled fantastically on her warfare rolls, being able to say the two locations that she thought most likely for an ambush, one being the obvious in that mountain pass near the inn that you were directed to go through to get to the particular set of ruins, or a second, if there was going to be a cavalry ambush, would be in the fields on the route that you're traveling over the next couple of days. Because a cavalry ambush would be difficult to get away from on foot.
If you do it the easy way, sure. How about a hoverboard?
Goliath, the Felicia Day and the tentacle memes, Goliath. Yeah. Oh, I'd be more worried about the tentacles rising than the tentacles falling. So the directions and the guidance that you were given by Tiber's father, Isaac Darren the Elder, was you'll spend your first 2 nights staying. I'm on a retcon. I'd originally said the Queen's Ruby Travel Inns. That is being retconned to the Ruby Queen's Travel Inns. I had written it backwards in a fit of dyslexia. It was always supposed to be the Ruby Queen. I just accidentally wrote it backwards. You'll stay in the Ruby Queen for the first couple of days, and then there were other directions. You're going to turn east on your 3rd day. You're going to go across the fields. You're going to skirt the forest into the mountains to this pass, to this town where there's an abandoned noble's estate. You're going to commandeer that estate, retrieve and secure the relic, and return. Was the directions that was given. And so we find ourselves at the end of our first day of travel. We had just ended as we were getting ready to walk into the Ruby Queen establishment. Now, so we're gonna resume right here, walking into the 1 year. Oh, 9 months, Goliath. Nice, you're getting there. You are getting there. Crom is 100% pro Felicia Day. Crom is 200% pro Felicia Day. So yeah. Where was I? Oh, right. Speaking of Felicia Day, the pale, redheaded, yeah, might sound familiar here in just a few moments, actually. The Ruby Queen. So this establishment in front of you, known as the Ruby Queen, is, from what you've gathered, it's a travel lodge for rich people that are going through these roads that are practically paved in gems in Ophir, which is kind of what the stories tell, that Ophir is a nation paved in gems because it's so wealthy. And in a way, it kind of is. Ophir's wealth, Ophir is an incredibly wealthy nation, income inequality out the wazoo, but an incredibly wealthy nation where even the common folk probably have servants and slaves of some sort.
Even the slaves have slaves.
Even the slaves have slaves. So here we go. We're coming upon this establishment. It is a large walled establishment. Now the walls are low walls, and you can see through the walls very well tended trees and flowers all across the walls, particularly roses, up and down the walls on vines, coming up and down the walls. The establishment itself is immaculate. Lots of reds and greens and flowers and reds but the establishment itself is immaculate. You can see over here a large stables just off of the establishment. As you're going in, there are staff and servants. And they say that the lords and their entourage can go into the main house, whereas the guards and servants can go to the barracks. At the end of the last session, we had decided that half of the party was going to go to the barracks, the grunt half, and then part of the party was going to stay with Tiber. So the soldiers, Thornicius, Zinnia, and Abertech were going to head to the barracks, and then the emissary, assassin. Actually, I don't think we had decided for the assassin. No, yeah, we had. The emissary and the assassin were going to stay with Tiber, and Corin was going to pass off as like Tiber's personal guard.
Corin and Tiber were shacking up. Well, they were staying in the same room.
Right. Corin and Tiber were going to stay together. That way Corin could protect Tiber.
Right.
That way Corin could protect
blessed
Tiber.
by a servant of Bast tonight.
Blessed by a servant of Bast. So we will start out. Let me get back to my notes where I wrote all of this down. So the party's going to be split up here. We're split into the two groups. 3 going to the barracks, and then 4 staying in the main house of the Ruby Queen. So we will start out in the main house. The main house itself, as you walk in, it's a very brilliantly apportioned big common room. It's a large common room, and there is a huge U-shaped 2-tiered bar with a lower tier and then an upper tier, and then staff on the inside around pipes and kegs and bottles and drinks and plates and all sorts of things, covering the entirety of, not the entirety, covering the main part of this grand common room. It has red stained glass windows, which is extraordinarily rare and precious in this day and age of the Hyborian age. Stained glass windows. It has chandeliers with green and red crystal-looking danglies coming down from the chandeliers, reflecting and flickering all of the light across the room, just scattering rainbows of reds and greens and others, and with just painting the room in these colors of passion and cascading fleeting tones of crimsons and scarlets and burgundies and vermilions and blood reds all across the walls and the floors, flickering from the torches and the chandeliers, reflecting red and green ribbons across the ceilings and the walls and banners, and these ribbons bordered by a reflective surface, maybe metal threads weaved into them, so they again reflect the light and make even more flashing around. The staff itself are all dressed in very elegant, diaphanous gowns and attire with sparkly bangles and rings and necklaces, everything reflecting the light and bouncing light out further, almost causing a trippy effect, kind of like those old 60s and 70s TV shows when you see the lights and the lights are making the glares coming out everywhere on those old TV shows. It's like that times 100. Everything in this place just reflecting and amplifying and coloring the light to be colors of red and green. The room itself is flanked on either side by this grand staircase going up and around to a small balcony. On the back of that balcony is a red-stained, ornate double door. Behind that, you are led to a table, kind of near the entryway-ish, a little ways away from the U-shaped bar. You've got a table for the 4 of yourselves. The staff here is very elegant, but not formal, not stuffy, but very, very elegant, just a little sultry, to take care of your needs as you sit down here in this establishment.
And this is the nice one, right? Not the rowdy bar for the warden.
Right. So this would be Zhang and Verai as the players, and then Tiber and Corin here as well, the 4 of you.
It's dark in here.
Oh, there's lots of lights. There are all sorts of lights, torches and candles.
That was sarcasm.
Gotcha.
Well, our esteemed emissary, how does this fare your expectations?
Quite, what's the they're spending a lot of money on this.
Ostentatious.
Yeah, I just think quite ostentatious.
Yep. Ostentatious, almost gaudy even, but at the same time, so much. So much.
Would I be able to make some sort of a culture type roll to determine what the green and red combination means in this area?
Yeah, please roll a society check for me. Oh, you have a 15 expertise and a 2 focus.
Yep. Rolling the dice.
Rolling that. Oh, wow. 2 successes. Okay.
Almost 3.
Almost. Shit, almost 4 to be honest. So the interesting thing here that you notice is there are no emblems. There are no royalty banners. There's no regalia. There's no houses that this place is representing. The reds and the greens seem to be there for the colors themselves, the colors of passion and the colors of desire, and because whoever does it really thinks red and green goes together. But the really interesting thing that you note here is it isn't representing. It doesn't seem to be. This house doesn't seem to be beholden. This building, this establishment, doesn't seem to be beholden to any royal house whatsoever. But the crowd you see here is a disparate mix in this travel lodge. You see 18 different emblems and regalias from 18 different parties of folks. The 50 or so other people that are in here, other patrons that are in here, which for a travel lodge is a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, that seems like a lot of people.
This is a very popular place. And who's to say that all of these folks are even like actually staying here? They're not just visiting here to visit for the evening or something. This place obviously has an incredible reputation. Also appears to be a neutral-ish reputation because while everybody is here, from what you've learned, some of these houses don't like each other. Everybody is playing nice here.
I'll call forth for some food and see if I can listen into any of the nearby conversations for any interesting bits and tidbits.
Can I observe 2 different things? I can roll coordinate, whatever, but one, I want to see the armed presence. If it is a neutral space, still just everybody seem to be keeping the peace. Or at least watching out for that. And then the second would be, I forgot.
Well, let's go for the first one first. Let's roll an observation on the first one. What is the armed presence? That is 2 successes or 3?
2.
2 successes. Okay. So with 2 successes on your observation check here. So the first and most obvious thing is while several of the patrons have weapons on them, nobody is here dressed for war. Nobody is here like armed and armored and they got big plate mails or anything. These are the people in this room are the nobles and maybe the nobles, the fellow nobles, and maybe the personal servant or 2. You do spot definitely a couple of dangerous individuals in here that seem to know how to handle a blade better than others among the patrons. Among the staff, there's not an armed guard here. There's no pikemen at the front door. There's no spears and swords and knives around. But with your second success, you do note among all of the reflections that you see of the people, of the staff, of the equipment, of the ribbons, you do note behind the bar some reflections that have a more steely color to them in some of the reflections behind and underneath the bar as you're walking around. You do note behind the banners on the walls some more steely reflections up high, higher than a person should be able to reach, hidden behind loosely flowing ribbons and banners. You do note a lot of this staff seems to be they have arms and hands that belie doing soft work. But there are no obvious weaponry among the staff.
Okay. So I remembered my other thing. Slave presence. Like you said, a lot of these folks seem to be, staffers and whatnot that are very capable individuals. But are there more clear-cut slaves present, taking orders of food and bussing and?
I'll keep your same 2 observation check roll on that. There is no obvious slaves here. Unless all of the staff is, there is nothing delineating one type of staff from another. Now, all of the bartenders are dressed similarly. All of the entertainers in the common area are dressed similarly, but none of them appear to have collars or leashes or forced piercings. Now, some of them are wearing collars and forced and piercings, but nothing that you note seems to make any of this. Nothing from what you see. There does not appear to be some overmaster. There does not appear to be coercion here. It does not seem like any of them are slaves.
Okay, then. Thank you.
But on that note of the dancers, they begin to drum the tables. They begin to dance. They begin to make some music. The double doors at the top, the red-stained double doors at the top of the balcony open up, and out flows a whole troupe of dancers. Almost a dozen dancers come out from that door and begin to dance their way down the stairs, down the grand staircases to the main room, humming and chanting and singing. The bartenders and the staff are banging rhythmically on the tables. The dancers are wearing these diaphanous gowns and these reds and greens and metal spangles with again looks like metallic threads sewn into them to glitter and reflect in the light. They've all got all of the dancers are wearing red, almost transparent veils, red or green, semi-transparent veils over their faces, leaving their eyes and their hair uncovered. And then, as they're dancing and making a raucous sound, the volume increases and the drumming increases and it speeds up and the dancing speeds up. And then all of them at the same moment pause and look up and raise their hands up to the balcony double doors. And you hear Tiber, "This is it. She's going to come out. The Ruby Queen herself is coming out." And this is where we're going to go over to the barracks now.
I really hope it's Bette Midler.
So the 3 of you that got sent to the barracks, you're relegated away from the main house where all the cool people in the entertainment is. You are led around behind the building, out past a wall, to a barracks which has its own little wall there. The barracks itself is a large, sturdy-looking stone building, about the size of a barn, really. A short barn, but about the size of maybe a 2-story, 3-story barn. Made of stone, very stout, small windows. And at first you're walking in there like, yeah, this is great. Yay. But as you are led through the front doors there, the closer you get, the more of a raucous sound you hear from the barracks. The more you hear of laughing and screaming and singing and other behaviors, raucous behaviors. And they open the door, and you see in here this staff and guards and crew of all of the different lords and ladies and nobles that are in the house. Here in the barracks, rivalries be damned, banners be damned, mercenary companies be damned. They are all in here drinking, partying, playing.
Is there a way to avoid being damned when you come in here?
Probably not.
Okay. Also, I think I smell calamari.
No! No! Redeem bad weather. It rains rotten calamari. It's sticky and yucky. Ew. I'm going to tweak that a little bit. I think at the first redeem bad weather, we're going to go with it is bad weather, but it isn't calamari bad yet, Goliath. But we definitely got the bad weather. As you are heading around to this establishment, the rain does.
You know what? Even if it's not calamari yet, it's happened so often that at the first crack of thunder, Abertac is like in. Like,
the wind's howling, the rain is falling, just in time, like just a freak storm. A second ago, you could see the stars, and then crack of lightning, the sky opens up on you, and you get rushed into this building, in, out of the rain. You're shaking off. Everybody's like looking at you. Why are you shaking off? Holy cow, it's really raining out there.
Mm-hmm.
I look at my party and I'm like, this is going to get worse until we fix whatever's wrong with this crazy dark magic going around here and put the witches to bed.
The wind slams several of the shutters shut of the building. And as you walk in, everybody's like, "Yay!" One of the mercenaries in particular sees you guys walk in. A second ago, he does a double take as he's looking over there, and he sees you walking in. Let's see. So, so flirtatious drinkers, hearty meals, dice, cards, a fully loaded but not like elegant or opulent bar of any sort. Mercenaries and guards. And right as you walk in, you see one of the guys in there standing up at the bar, getting around. He sees you and he does a double take. Zinnia? Is that you? You
No,
son
that's
of a
Zinnia.
bitch, get the fuck in here. What are you doing here? I haven't seen you since that job in Zingara. Holy crap.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Happy we're back.
Sure.
I go from, hey, what's up? What's going on?
You recognize him pretty quickly. He was actually an opposing mercenary for some work that you did in Zingara before you went to Aquilonia. Zingara being kind of like on the southwestern edge, kind of like a Spanish nation, Spanish-styled nation. You did some work over there before going to Aquilonia. The work was lucrative, but unfortunately it kind of led to the dissolution of the mercenary company you were a part of, which is why you made it to Aquilonia without a mercenary company at your back. And he was on the opposing side, but when you're not being paid to be against each other, you're not against each other. It's just you're mercenaries. Sometimes you get paid to murder people you like. Oh, get the hell over here. I hear you've been causing havoc and making dangerous friends in Aqualonia. What the hell are you doing here?
Who, me? Nah.
Oh, that's not what I hear. I hear you started a whole rebellion or some shit.
And that surprises you, Hal?
What surprises me is you're walking around with the size of the bounty on your head.
Hey. Good comes at a cost, right? You know?
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Pretty sure it's a big bounty, huh?
I mean, I've seen bigger.
Well, that's good. At least I'm at the top.
You certainly made some friends out there, though. Holy crap. Just what the hell did you do to get yourself on a most wanted list? I gotta hear this story. Boys, get over here. This is that mercenary I was telling you about from Aqualonia. Yeah, she stabbed me twice.
Pretty sure if you've stabbed anybody twice, they're usually dead.
I spared him.
I got better.
Well, you see how it is.
What had happened was,
What had happened was.
Marky, next round's on me for her and her friends. You two, get the hell over here.
pardon me, I'll take water. I've had to abstain from liquor since.
Water? Fuck that noise. You're getting beer, damn it.
No, you don't want to hear that story, really.
Bartender sets three beers down in front of you guys. Oh, is there a story here I should know? Oh, I want to know all the stories. What happened?
So, there you were.
There was. Yep.
There I was. That's how all the
We
best
did this
stories
here,
started.
we did that there, we did that there, we did that there, and you know, all in a day's work.
Yeah. Several bad guys went poof.
Keeping
Several
secretive
towns.
about it. I can get it. I understand. You don't have to tell an old friend what you've been doing. I just thought we could catch up, you know.
Oh, we're caught up, right?
What
And
you've been
protect
up to
you are
is the
there
bigger
as well.
question.
What's
You
that?
I said, what you've been up to is the bigger question. What are you doing here?
Oh, your standard Dog Brothers shit. I've been heading east ever since Zingara. Got a pretty decent paying job. Just got a crew doing some caravan escorts right now. If you're gonna do caravan escort, the interior of Ophir is the place to do it.
Good to know.
How's the weather been here lately?
Hot and muggy until about 5 minutes ago. I don't know what the hell happened.
It's been very squiddy.
It seems to follow us.
Been squiddy. Oh, it follows you guys then. Well, I know some farmers that would love to meet you out west. They could use some rain.
You know.
Are we going to turn this into a business opportunity?
There we go.
What would be more Zamoran than that?
I can see it now. Hey, I've got this Gitani who knows how to call the rain.
I don't think it's to call it.
Well, obviously not, but that's the angle you have to spin it.
What's the name of the town we were thinking about heading to? I know we're going to the ruins first, but that town nearby.
The town nearby was
Let's go down.
people and places.
Why is he
Shamar.
that?
Shamar. Has he heard anything about the earthquakes and madness in Shamar?
Why is the dog looking?
Yeah, we just came from Shamar. That is a grim and gray place down there. I tell you what, it is. That is just a grim place. Nobody is happy in that town. You think they should be? They all got money. They all got jobs. They're all living their lives. No war ever came to them. But oh, buddy, everybody there is just dour. It's like you're walking into a Cimmerian village dressed like a freaking Northlander.
So, but it's not always been like that, right? We heard there was like nightmares and earthquakes and shit going on there. Mass hysteria, cats and dogs. You heard some scary tales.
Yeah, there was an earthquake happen while we were down there. I didn't have any nightmares, but I know some of my crew said they didn't sleep well, but you know, we were pretty happy to get out of that town. We were only there for a few days to stock up, load up, and sell.
You haven't heard anything else about the earthquake revealing caves, ruins, mines, anything like that?
Oh, those sort of. I bet there was I bet whoever was telling you about that probably had a treasure map they were trying to sell you too. Why? Do you know of any caves or ruins that got opened up from an earthquake?
That's what we're here. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Ah, okay. Because I mean, if you knew of something, maybe we could work together to clear it out. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure all 100 of you would love to help all 4 of us. Such good guys.
For the right
Especially after
price.
That partner here done put 2 swords in you.
That was just sword play, okay?
Sword play? Is that what you call that?
You know.
It was sword
Stab
play.
somebody one time.
Twice.
Twice.
Every sword eventually needs to sheath.
All fun and games till somebody loses a testicle.
Or 2?
So in here there are singers, there's musicians, there's dancers, lots of servants and staff. They're all wearing reds and greens. They're not quite the same fanciness, not with little metal threads sewn through them all, but they are definitely all very nice and very revealing clothing for the vast majority of them, men and women. You see a table over here. They're throwing dice and making bets. Over there, they're playing poker.
No, none of that is really Abertax thing, as much as maybe the others, but
I mean, the life of a mercenary sometimes is short and sweet, so you live it while you got it.
I don't blame them. I do blame them.
So, what do you tell this old friend of yours?
Mm-hmm.
Not much.
Not much.
Okay.
I will start telling witch hunting tales, right?
Yeah, there you go.
That will either intrigue him or he'll be preached off.
If they involve adventure and making money, they will intrigue him. If they involve not money, he'll probably get bored.
Not as much money involved but there is a lot of adventure. And chasing down witches and making sure that demons don't invade the mortal realms, which seems to be happening more and more these days. And I'll have a couple beers, and I'll probably say at some point it become apparent that Abertac links the earthquakes with the possibility of like things that shouldn't be here finding their way here.
So Thornicius and
Makes
Xena
sense.
just kind of. Oh, sorry.
He may just sound crazy.
Are you two just kind of drinking and mingling and having a good evening?
Yeah.
All right.
carousing.
At one point in time, you're hanging out, and there is a troop of oh my gosh, the word of marchmen. You're from the Bostonian marchers, being a Bostonian archer. You see you kind of start hanging out with a group of Bostonian archers, Bostonian mercenaries. Not they're not all archers, but they recognize you as being a tribesman, a kinsman. Pretty quickly. Come drink with us. Hey, how the hell are you?
All right, yeah, I'll mosey on over.
Invite you to come be drinking with them and, telling stories. And one of them's like, if I didn't know better, I'd say that was a proper earned Bostonian bow there. Did you get that, my friend?
Earned it with I earned it the hard way.
You earned it the hard way. Do I recognize that rap on there right? I come from Thundera. Is that Lieutenant Damus? Is that his sigil there? Lieutenant Damus was your mentor, by the way.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. God, I gotta remember my own story.
Holy crap! I can't believe you are this far away. What let you out of? Did you get run out like the rest of his troop when they kept transferring him, trying to get him killed?
Well, yeah, that kind of pushed me out, but yeah, I also wanted to become a ranger, and figured the Western Wilderness was the best. Northern Western Wilderness was the best place to get involved in rangering, and yeah, I've been just exploring and trying not to get myself stabbed with a bone knife.
Well, you're pretty far away from the picks out here.
Yeah.
You don't get much farther away and still be in civilized land.
Right.
Man, it's good to meet you. You wouldn't have to be looking for work, are you? We could always use an experienced hand.
I'm kind of busy doing one thing right now, but I mean, if you want to let me know where to hook up with you, maybe my troop wouldn't mind running some small jobs.
You got to cross the world. Take advantage as you get them, my friend.
That's right. So what are you guys doing?
Oh, we're heading to go secure some tower out on the border of Aquilonia.
Is it
there's a that I'm sure you're well aware of the civil war that's brewing out there, and this lord or that lord is trying to either secure the borders or claim land before the cold fighting turns hot fighting. And guess who pays in blood to make that happen? Yeah. Guess who pays in gold to make that happen?
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we stay out of that trouble. Not really looking to get
one of the three of you, actually Abertak, you're the Zamoran. I need either an observation or a thievery, please. Your call.
This is one of the things I can use insight instead of thievery with humans on.
Yes.
Then that will be a much better roll.
Is that 2?
I think so. I gotta look real quick.
Well, while you are mingling and you're moving around, 2 successes? Okay. While you are mingling and moving around, you note somebody who's been giving you a little bit of a side eye, which you're telling crazy witch stories. But you note somebody that's been giving you a little bit of a side eye, who's obviously not a lord. I mean, he's a mercenary looking dude like everyone else in here, right? He gives you a bit of side eye and then leaves. In the late evening, in a howling rainstorm, gives you some side eye and leaves.
probably merits a follow-up. Is there was he sitting near anybody in particular?
I mean, kind of as described, it was this whole place is very mixed. Everybody in here is just mingling with everybody. The little
That's fine.
tribes and stuff don't matter. So yes, but not anybody in particular that you noticed.
I'm gonna ask Zinya's friend there at the bar if he knows who that was.
Who what was, huh? What are you talking? I'm seeing things. Ain't nobody leaving in the middle of a rainstorm like this. Not when there's all the booze you could want in here. Hey,
He
how's
has a
that
good-
drink? Bartender, top him up a little.
Some things never change.
Mm-mm. I'll mention it to Zinnia, but I do take the new drink. That's really odd. This I wouldn't have paid much mind to it, but sometimes that's one of my witch hunting tactics. Sometimes you don't want anybody to know you're a witch hunter. Sometimes you shine the light and see where the cockroaches scurry.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of odd. He just walked on out.
Yep, he did dip on out. All right. Well, I guess we can return. Or do you guys have any other tasks? Any things you ask around about? Like, are you doing anything else while you're in the barracks with all these various mercenaries?
Listening
I don't
for
really
any,
feel like
any
I'm dealing here but any more than we already have. Just totally intentional.
keeping my ear out for any kind of troop movements that are going towards the area or away from the area where we're going.
I mean, you hear random mercenary talk. These people are escorting that lord. Those people are taking a caravan this somewhere. These people are heading for a tower out on the border between Ophir and Aquilonia.
Would that take them through the area that we're going?
No, you don't really hear anything talking about the haunted forest or the mountains to Corinthia or anything.
Okay.
All right, I guess back out to the main house. So, all of the dancers and the entertainers have been thumping and dancing and singing and chanting, and then everything goes silent, and they all look up at the double doors, the red stained double doors on the balcony. And out from these red stained double doors just glides this woman. Tall, pale skin, red curly hair, hair just flowing around her like flames, almost able to touch her. Loose silks and satins flowing around her, wisping in wind that you don't even know how the wind is there. She steps out on the balcony, and this room drops silent. Immediately, all of the dancers, all of the staff stop making noise, stop dancing, stop moving. All eyes, all attention is on this woman on the balcony in the red gowns and the sparkling rings and bracelets and jewelry around her neck and reflective silver threads wreathed throughout her clothing, gems and jewels in her ears, and a red veil across her face with more silvered threads running through it, reflecting the light around her, making her seem ephemeral, even almost like she's in so many places at once because she's just glowing, she's glittering. She steps out on the balcony and begins to sing quietly, steadily, a song about a lover, a lost lover, a song about a found lover. And she sings the first verse, and the room stays silent. And people aren't even touching their silverware or their glasses, just entranced by her. And as she gets to the chorus after the first verse, the volume picks up. She gets louder. The staff joins in, echoing her and doing a background choir with her and starting to sing. And the energy of the song picks up, and the contents of the song get a little bawdier about the lost lover and finding new lovers. As the second verse goes through, the staff start joining in on the song. The dancers, the singers, they start. The dancers will dance up to a patron and seemingly pull like ribbons, like red ribbons, out from a patron's collar. Little magic trick sort of things, pulling ribbons out from a collar of a patron while clambering across their lap, or doing an acrobatic roll across a patron's almost face. These kind of movements and gyrations and acrobatics and tricks of the lights and ribbons as the dancers start to dance through the crowd and through the patrons and to the tables. As she gets to the third verse, as this woman gets to the third verse, she climbs up onto the guardrail of the balcony, grabs onto a ribbon hanging down from the roof, and swings across the room in some sort of acrobatic display before being lowered down onto the head table, the front table, where she sings. She sings almost straight to the lordliest looking lord here, an elder gentleman, and his entourage, where she sings to him before rolling off of that table and then moving through the crowd, singing to each table bawdy songs of love and not quite saying the things that you can tell that she is saying. Before she does her finale by walking across the big U-shaped bar and diving down off of the bar top into the bar area behind her, to a big encore and eruption of applause and clapping and singing and that is her intro. The crowd goes wild. Oh my God, she's so lovely. Tiber and Corin are just completely entranced. As pretty much the entire rest of the room is entranced in her. She stands back up, starts making her way through the crowd, starting at that head table. The dancers are still dancing around, doing song and dance numbers and being entertaining and doing that whole rigmarole. But she has now moved on to like the head table, where she's staying there talking to the head table for a while, and then she mingles to another table for a little bit. You guys have finished off your food, and you're on a second glass of wine or so, maybe a third glass of wine and some desserts before she makes it to your table. So she's mingling with guests before eventually making it to the party's table. As she gets to your table, she makes eye contact first with Zhang and in her Southern Belle accent welcomes you to her home. She's been hearing rumors of an emissary of Katai and says she's positively delighted to have your presence. Perhaps if you're amenable, I could introduce you to some of my other guests. I'm sure they'd just be delighted to meet you.
Oh, I'm always willing to meet new
Acquaintances.
Yes, but I mean it's the same word. Connections. Thank you. I'm always willing to make new connections.
Why, that's just lovely. I'm sure there are many interesting people here that would just die to have you. She looks over to Tiber. My, the little darling. Haven't you grown up since the last time I saw you to be a handsome young man? I haven't seen you since your mother had you walking across my bar. Did a little pirouette, if I remember right, and fell right into my bar. I seem to remember a pirouette that landed you behind my bar. Tiber starts blushing like you've never seen him blush before, almost as red-faced as her hair is. He's like, I can't believe you remember me. That was so long ago. I promise I won't make a scene like that again. I promise. Nonsense, she says. Nonsense at all. My house always needs more pirouettes, especially for handsome young men on my bar. And he blushes even deeper.
Does pirouette mean the same thing in this world that it does in ours?
A dance, a little twirly dance maneuver.
Yes. Just making sure it wasn't a euphemism for something.
Oh no, he's getting back up on the bar tonight and doing a pirouette into the bar.
Can we do flaming liquor under him like Coyote Ugly style?
And at that, she looks at you, Verai, and she goes, and you, my dear, you must be the local advisor to the emissary. Judging by the table here, also someone that seems to care for young, handsome Tiber here. Allow me to introduce myself. My guests call me the Ruby Queen. My staff just call me Ruby. You can call me Rue. I think we have quite a bit in common. And she does a little twirl, landing kind of in your lap. And I need a quick observation check as she pulls her hair. She kind of flicks her hair. Just one success is enough. One success. She flicks her hair back, and just as she's turning, almost in a smooth movement that you wouldn't have even noticed if it hadn't been pointed directly at you, you notice a small tattoo behind her ear of a Zamoran street gang. I think we might have so much in common. You're muted.
Much in common, you say. Do go on. What do we have in common?
She gives a sly little knowing smile.
Do you also have daggers hidden in dark places?
Depends on how you define dark.
And daggers?
And daggers.
How do you define dagger?
Honey, people like us always have something nearby.
We
always can reach out and find something hard.
I can indeed relate. I really like your outfit. It is very, very mesmerizing. Is that real silver intertwined into that?
Silver threads through and through. Unfortunately, most of the gems are replicas.
Yeah, one can't be too careful in rough places around the continent.
That's why I've made this little haven here. Not a sign of the rough. Not in front, at least.
Not without washing first, at least. It is a beautiful place you have here, and everybody gets along so nicely. How do you get everybody to get along so nicely?
The secret is love and a lot of blackmail.
Oh, good. You are naughty.
I mean, that is how
At that, she rolls off of your lap to give her attention towards Corin. And you, I'm surprised to see you in such company, considering where you. And then he interrupts her. Sorry, ma'am. I'm terribly sorry, but I think you might be mistaken. I'm just a nobody here, just protecting the important ones that I'm with. I'm not here. I'm nobody here. That's whoever you think I am is not who I am. And you can almost see like a pleading look in his eyes for her to get it. And as he blunders through the most obvious innuendo of ever, which is obviously not his forte, just blunders through it. Well, I see, my dear, I must have been mistaken. It's rare, but it does happen on occasion. Well, enjoy the hospitality here then. As she starts to roll away from the table, She looks back at you guys and, it's a terrible shame you didn't let me know you were coming sooner. I could have introduced you to some folks that were only a day ahead of you, seemed eager to meet people that just quite matched your descriptions.
Hmm.
I'm never
You guys-
too eager to announce when I'm coming.
You guys stay with my sister tomorrow night. Tell her I sent you. Au revoir, kind dears. As she saunters to the next table after that cryptic message. Yay. Sorry, my phone rang. And with that, almost as swiftly as... Oh, I don't care about that. Almost as swiftly as she flowed to your table, she flows away from your table in a flurry of cloth and gowns, and leaving behind nothing but some fading light flickering into your eyes and the perfume of cinnamon and exotic smells. Corin ribs Tiber a little bit for the pirouette on the bar, and oh, that's going to be a story we're never going to forget about now, boy.
Wonder if her sister's name is Emerald.
All right, Tiber, on the bar.
Tiber laughs.
No, on the bar.
Huh?
We're seeing a pirouette tonight.
Not happening. I am way too sober for that.
Waitress. Actually, Tiber, I do have a question for you. And it does pertain to the pirouettes, actually. The last time she saw you, she remembers distinctly you pirouetting on her bar with your mother. How does your mother know, Ruby?
Well, he says that the travel lodges are pretty popular place to stay if you've got the money to stay here.
They're not friends or anything?
I didn't think so. Not that I've ever known of. It's been 10 years. Now, mind you, he's like 19. It's been a decade since we were here. How the hell did she remember me and recognize me?
That's why I was asking if they were close friends or something, that she would remember your mother and your mother's son.
It's been 10 years. I have no idea. I mean, usually if we're traveling this way, we're going to stay here, but I haven't been here in forever, since I was a little kid.
She's strange.
Okay then. Well, you're off the hook for now, but with a few more drinks, you are pirouetting on a table.
You first.
I'm a girl. I can pirouette all night.
The pirouette is her middle name.
After
Pirouette.
after a little while, once she's done like doing her main mingle session, she does sit down at the table with the guy at the head table to stay there, apparently at least for a little while. But one of the dancers comes over to you, Zhang. And the dancer, she introduces herself. She gives a name. She says, "Well, I do hear that you're just an interesting man of the evening to be introduced to. Care to join me as we make some rounds?"
Oh, and where are we going?
Well, first off, right over here is a Duke of Gantry, an obnoxious little man, but he is in charge of a really large chunk of country up in the media, and as a regular here, might be a good person to know. After that, the fat one over there is a merchant from Koth. Now, you might not know a lot about Koth. I don't know who you are. But Koth being a major trade route might be a great place to know.
That is a good idea.
And she takes you away from the table and starts introducing you to various higher and lower level nobility and rich merchants.
I schmooze and talk, introduce myself and get to know and make acquaintances and the like.
And murder.
No, that's the job.
You will get, basically from all of these introductions, mechanically speaking, you're going to get a bonus point of momentum for a society check referencing some lord or famous rich person or whatever in the area. You get to pick when to use it, whether it's on the next one or whatever. So you get a free momentum point for knowledge of various lords of the like in the general region-ish.
Cool.
Back to, or anything else for you or Verai?
I don't think I have. Well,
So
I would like to ask the server. Ruby mentioned her sister. Oh, sure.
Yeah, the other
Do you
travel
have-
lodge.
Sorry. Go on.
No, yeah, at the other travel lodge, which, if you remember your directions, you were supposed to stay at the Ruby Queen for both of the first 2 nights because there's 2 Ruby Queens.
Ah.
Yeah, she said you were supposed to go see her sister tomorrow.
Sounds like a good idea.
Well, tell her Ruby sent you.
I certainly will.
As a massive thunderclap rattles the walls. Everything below the waist is kaput. I'm so tired.
Told you.
tired
I
of
told you.
the game.
That I would sing
I
it.
told him you'd make that reference.
I wasn't the one that read the Twitch chat. I'm just reading from Twitch chat here. And then I started singing because it's fun and I like to do that. Back to, so actually the inspiration for this was neither Coyote Ugly nor Blazing Saddles. It was Moulin Rouge was actually more of the inspiration for this. In that entry where she's coming down and she's singing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend sort of thing.
I never actually saw that movie.
I like musicals. If you like musicals of any sort, it's a great one to watch.
Wasn't that
Yeah,
Catherine
the gay ones.
Huh?
Wasn't that Catherine
Okay.
Also, I love Pitch Perfect, and when I used to live there, I had musical Mondays where every Monday I would go to my friend Kristen's house, and a group of us would watch musicals every Monday, and it was fun and lovely, and we had a great time.
Did you act out works from the canon of Christian Slater?
The Canon of the Christian Slater.
Yes, Christian Slater.
I don't know what that means.
Actor.
Oh, Christian Slater is a knockoff Kevin Bacon?
Sure. Yes, kind of. Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, he really is knockoff Kevin Bacon.
I hate tofu bacon.
Well, that's okay because we're about to get calamari from the sky.
Yeah. When Curse of Strahd comes back, they're going to have a musical opener. That's going to be interesting. All right. Back to the barracks then. You've had a little bit of time. It is later on in the evening. The 3 of you, feeling pretty good. You've had more than a couple of beers. You do have a room appointed to you guys. You've been to the room in and out a couple of times. One thing to note, the rooms here are secure. Like the doors lock from the inside. The windows are small and lock from the inside. There are The walls are solid. You can't hear through the walls. Like, surprisingly, like for being where the servants go, this place is solid.
A little too solid.
But they lock from the inside, not the outside.
Yeah.
So you guys are hanging out here again. Is there any other points of things that you try to find out? Because there's a couple more points of information that I figured you'd ask about, and I'm surprised you haven't.
I don't know that we want everybody knowing our.
I'm curious about the people that are looking for more information about us, but I mean, who do I
Yeah.
ask?
I have to play devil on that because I wasn't there for that.
I know. I wrote it down, but Ruby was the one that mentioned it. So, do we ask a waitress?
I think you asked Ruby.
Ruby doesn't come back to your table.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And anytime you happen to be nearby her, she is with a crowd of people that she is smoozing. However, for those three of you in the barracks, pick a number between 1 and 3. Thornicius.
2.
Xenia.
1.
Abertac. I guess you get
That
3.
leaves me with-
Well, the number was 3.
Oh, good.
So, Abertac, one of the waitresses, after you're telling some stories, you find you have less of a crowd than the other two. They're schmoozing more of the mercenary style. You're not as much of that mercenary style. You find yourself to have a little less of a crowd, and at one point in time, no crowd at all. And one of the staff comes up to you to see if you need a drink, and as she's asking if you need a drink, she leans in pretty close and she says, "There's somebody here that's been watching you guys very closely all night. He works for a certain animal hybrid you may have heard of. He had a friend. The friend's already gone, though." Oh, and she points you to a nondescript guy who's been drinking with you guys all evening and playing cards and darts and stuff all evening. And she goes, "Oh, that's also. You three might want to get cleaned up for tomorrow evening. Friends of the guest house don't sleep in barracks, I'm told." Well, gotta go, and she takes back off.
I'm gonna when she's taking some plates or whatever away, like leave a gold piece on one of them for her.
Sure.
And then next time, like we're back to the room, I'll mention the encounter to, Xenia or Thornatius, whichever one of them I can get there without making it look like we noticed anything.
Sure. You get the message to them over the next 30 minutes or so.
And by an animal hybrid, I assume she meant a minotaur.
Probably. Never mind. I'm not here, right?
Or cat people.
I think I know, but when do I?
Oh, it's probably that dire wolf dude, right?
Drakenwolf. Yeah.
Yeah. Dragon wolf thing. Yeah, but minotaurs.
Yep.
Maybe sexier? I don't know. Think about it.
And wolf pig bear.
All right. Any other tasks before either party calls it for the night to their apportioned rooms?
Now that he's got a couple drinks in him, probably way more than I have, kind of go over, kind of flirtatiously talk about the bounty that's on my head and is it on everybody else's head and who's looking for us. And
yeah, I mean, he says that there's a bounty on your head for inciting rebellion and treason and crimes against the king in Aquilonia, which you guys already knew that because you were attacked by a random cavalry troop not that long ago that had a bounty poster.
Oh, that's true.
Is Xenia flirting with the coat rack again?
shh.
The coat rack was shiny and covered in fur.
see.
Hey, you do what you gotta do sometimes, you know?
Any
Hey, at
large
least it's
troop movements through the area? Cavalry based or
You
otherwise?
guys doing any troop movements?
Cavalry wise?
Who here's got horses?
Yeah.
Yeah, horses. I thought it was funny too. All right, so the party winds down for the evening, I guess. And I'll just have to get you the piece of information a different way.
What are we forgetting to add?
So the ones in the main house, you have a very, very nice, comfortable main room with a king size bed in there, and then off of that main room, a secondary room with a couple of beds. I don't know how you're going to appoint it, but I don't even really want to think about it. But there's a room and a side room, very nice. For those of you in the barracks, it is a very plain room. There are 6 beds, 6 trunks, a front door, a window. But the beds are comfy. The room itself is lockable. It's secure.
Yeah, let's lock that.
And you guys wake up the next morning, get some breakfast, go through the usual rigmarole. Some of you feel a little worse for their wear. Tiber, give me a persuasion. Not Tiber. Sorry. Veri, give me a persuasion. You need 1 success.
I'm gonna use a fortune.
Oh, really? Are you going to roll as well, or just use the point of fortune and call it good? Okay. Come on, complication. Damn it.
No.
No complications. All right. Well, you still got your 2 successes. And you did indeed get Tiber dancing on the bar. But let's see. Just to be safe, I'm going to have him roll an acrobatics check.
Oh no.
And he gets a success with complication.
Perfect.
He does a perfect pirouette before slipping on some booze on the bar and once more falling into a bucket behind the bar, tumbling between a pair of servers, knocking them over and accidentally ripping the top off of one on his way down as he's flailing.
That was a happy coincidence.
Whoa!
Accidentally.
I can't believe I rolled that. That was the perfect roll that I wanted. Success and complication. Yes! Thank you, dice. Oh, man.
Make it even worse.
Oh, redeem glitch. Make it even worse. Oh.
He tried to get up and pulled the bottom down too.
He hit his head on the way down and is a little disoriented, and he's trying to get back up. And as he's trying to get back up, scratch that. Rewind. I found a better way to make it worse. As he is on his way down, flailing and kicking, he kicks Veri's feet out, who is also on the bar, because she's like, I can dance wherever I want, sending her tumbling as well. Give me an acrobatics check, Veri.
Oh, please let my complication be that I wind up in the bare chest of another woman.
I mean, if you get a couple of successes, it doesn't have to be a complication. That's 3. That's 3.
That is 3.
So, in your incredibly graceful and deftful falling with style, you slide, flip, roll, fall, and land face first, upside down on the girl whose top he had just yanked off. Crashing both of you to a ground in a quite compromising position.
Did I land on top? Tell me. I
Oh,
landed on top.
yeah. I mean, you're the one that was landing, so yeah.
It'd be weird if you didn't.
Tomorrow I'm buying Tiber a drink.
And with that, we move to the next morning. The party gets up, the party gets going. You don't see the Ruby Queen again before you guys regroup outside and resume your journey to the south towards the other Ruby Queen Travel Lodge. Now, I'm assuming you compare notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm especially going to mention the people who are eyeing us up.
And I will mention that our ambushers are a day ahead of us.
Well, that's Zenio's job.
Any other keynotes to?
So, other than noting the group of people that's looking for us, so be on the lookout for that, right?
How far away is our ambush spot?
Between here and the next travel lodge is big open fields with sparse trees and rolling hills that would be easy to hide a small cavalry troop behind.
Sounds like there's somebody looking for us, so that matches Zenya's previous predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the only other one of us that is Zamoran, Ruby has a Zamoran Street Gang tattoo behind her ear. She's fun.
She doesn't look Zamoran at all.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but she definitely had a subtle little tattoo behind her ear, so maybe it's worth working into conversation with her sister when we see her this evening.
Did you recognize which gang it was?
Did I, Crom? I saw it briefly, but it wasn't.
Insert old school Zamoran Street Gang here.
The Ruby Shivers.
The Ruby Slippers?
Yeah, the Ruby
It's nothing Ruby related, just some street gang a street gang. Not even like a fancy famous one. You only recognize it because you're from there and some street gang.
Oh, the $3 Pete's. Yeah, that's
Interesting.
yeah. Not even like off Broadway. That's like off Broadway.
Yeah.
I wonder if this sister of hers is really a sister.
We'll find out. Let's see if the
How?
sister.
Did you invite us?
Well, I imagine it might just be a.
There were also two things. She said, "Stay with my sister. Tell her I sent you." And then you guys in the barracks also got the message that maybe you should be cleaned up for tomorrow evening because guests of the house don't stay outside.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so we should get cleaned up, guys, before we leave.
Or at least if Abertac told you guys, because that was the message he was given. Friends of the guest house don't sleep in barracks.
Although I'm not sure exactly what that meant.
Are there any watering holes between here and our next stop? Maybe we prep ourselves before we get there, but there's no point in getting all fancied up right now if we're expecting we could be attacked.
For our lives, right.
I'd rather be in armor and with weapons handy than being in something looking nice and shiny.
Well, this is the main trade route thoroughfare of the country, of the entire nation. So there are quite a few establishments. I mean, scattered along the way. It's not like a city street or anything, but every so many miles there is something.
All right. Yeah. I'm in my armor with my weaponry. Just I'll pretty up before we get there.
Sure. And who is kind of taking point, playing the eyes and the scout of the party? That would be the ranger. Good. You're the one that probably should be. I need an observation check. Please fail. I mean, succeed.
Gonna have my executive assistant here take care of that for me.
Dang it, you were supposed to roll it yourself. Then I know you would fail.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't.
Man.
3.
Is that a 2 and a 13? Yeah, that is a 3, isn't it? Okay. Well, part of the way through the day, it's early afternoon. You guys have already eaten lunch. You're not racing because you know how far you're supposed to get to that night, so you're not trying to race to an indefinite destination. But good part of the way through the day, as you're kind of watching ahead, you notice you hear a group of people coming this way, complaining about the roadblock ahead.
Okay.
Those thugs are just extortioning people out for money. When the highway guard hears about this, they're going to get ran out. And indeed, as you clamber over one of the hills, you do catch just a quick glimpse of what looks to be a goodly-sized crew that have built a makeshift barricade across the road way up yonder. But looks to be sort of a makeshift barricade across the road, built kind of like a toll gate. This particular spot, the terrain on either side of the road comes down to a steep drop off where there's little big ditches and river running to one side, so it would be very difficult for wagons and the like to take a different path. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a natural place to, if you were going to block the road for a toll, to do so. However, with that much observation, you can tell that these people are not here under the consent of the king.
So they're thugs of some sort. Guys, I think we got some trouble up ahead. Do you think we could circumnavigate around this?
Often the difference between a mercenary and a bandit is 2 missed meals.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
You're the one who knows the terrain. Around. But
let's try and get around them without them noticing us.
We don't have wagons or anything, so.
No, yeah. Why don't we try and take this way and go up and over and around?
How many of them are there?
May take a day more.
How many did you say?
Let's see. He had 3 observations. So actually with 3 observation, you see 15 of them, roughly speaking, there at that checkpoint. But that 3rd observation also says that you can that you spot a dust cloud that makes it seem like there might be more hiding behind a hilliard.
Yeah,
a lot of people do shakedowns. But it also isn't the type of ambush I was expecting.
Shall we wait till night to give us better cover, or?
What, isn't her sister expecting us earlier?
Yeah, well, won't matter if we don't ever make it there because we're buried in shallow graves.
How far is the hilliard with the dust cloud?
It's off in the distance.
Oh. I was curious.
I'm sure they've got a runner or somebody there waiting, for these 15 to slow us down while the runner goes and gets the cavalry.
If a ruckus happens.
Yeah.
Why don't we take out the cavalry?
I mean, Zinnia, if you want to give me a warfare check.
Can you push me back over?
I don't touch that.
Your warfare is 10 and 3. That's one success.
Yep.
With one success, this seems like a pretty common banditry event where they're not necessarily trying to murder people, but the difference between a bandit and a mercenary is just a missed meal or two. Seems like a pretty standard affair. Block the traffic and have reinforcements a little ways away if a ruckus starts to happen.
Well, then if it's not something that's like specifically gunning for us, then yeah, we can go around. That's fine.
Yeah, I say try and sneak around.
All right. In that case, I need a survival check to be able to route cross country in a way that gets you away from being spotted.
Use fortune.
Yeah, let's do fortune.
All right. You roll a 1. Are you also going to roll survival dice? Or are you going to call it good with that double success?
Let's roll survival dice.
Yes.
Just in case.
Give me dang it.
Dang it. That's 4. Count them 4 successes.
They did not give me complications. Man, you guys are just ruining all my not so carefully laid plans to murder you. 4 successes does indeed seeing you heading off path. Now, you are now moving through private territory off the road. This is private controlled territory. You are trespassing. But with 4 successes, it's pretty easy to find a path through here that does not noted as you're trespassing across this land. You lose a couple of hours heading the long way around, but then you make it back to the highway a couple of hours later, down past where that roadblock was.
Hilliard, I guess.
Much beyond all of that.
Yes, okay, good.
Basically, you spent a couple hours going the long way around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I didn't get to murder them.
I'm surprised that their Ruby players don't keep their own mercenaries or something going on.
Well, it's about that time. They showed up with them anyway.
You're surprised that the Ruby isn't keeping the roads safe?
Seem pretty wealthy.
Myself.
I'll do it myself.
These, theoretically speaking, the mercenaries hired by the crown should be keeping the roads safe.
I agree. I'm.
They are. They're keeping the road safe from us.
Yeah. But it does show you a sign that maybe things here aren't quite so copacetic as they seem on the surface.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a border area that is contested. That happens.
No, this is not a border area. This is the heart of Ophir.
Oh, okay.
Like you are part of the way. You're a third of the way between the 2 largest cities in Ophir.
I see.
Deep in the heart of Ophir.
So we're going to continue on then and not circle back and cause trouble with those guys.
No.
Right.
Right.
Damn it.
Right.
Okay, you continue on. Well, unfortunately, you don't make it to the second Ruby Queen Travel Lodge at the early enough hour as you were planning. So night has already fallen by the time you get there. Fog has started to lift off of some of the ground. The wind is very still. And this Ruby Queen Lodge is a little bit different from the last one. So the last one had these walls full of vines of roses. This one does not have any outer defensive walls. There's still the building. There's still a stables. There's a barracks in the back. Again, the barracks, it's different. It's different design, but it's still that very stout rock stylings. But this place has very well tended hedges and rose thorn bushes and other like natural things grown to be around it, of hedges and trees and gardens and statues. And as you walk up to it, one of the statues turns out to be a person that was painted as a statue and standing there very, very, very still as you come up to it, and says, welcome to the Ruby Lodge.
Ah, stop it!
Oh, I get that all the time. It's fine. And she says that I'm sorry to say that I'm sorry to say that I'm sorry to say that Queenie has already made her appearance for the night, but she should still be around. Please come in and dust yourselves off and clean yourselves up and have some dinner and some drinks. Our house is open to you.
All right.
We
How did
appreciate
you
it.
know we were coming? Were you sent word?
We welcome all.
I think she's
Lovely
just greeting us
travelers.
as guests.
Oh, okay.
She is greeting us as guests, although might we be able to beg a moment of the Queen's time? Her sister sent us.
Oh, well, certainly. I'll make certain to let her know. Would you care to would you guys care to head to the side area and get cleaned up and rested, maybe before heading out to the main chambers for dinner?
We greatly appreciate that.
Sure.
She has another servant who is body painted, full of so the servants here appear to be more like body painted with some strategically placed cloth, but it's not the emeralds and the silvers here, and this is more artistic. The body paint on this one is like leaves, kind of like camo, except it's not meant to be camouflage. It's meant to be like they're painted to be leaves and flowers on this person, and that person has a different leaves and flowers that's painted on them. This person is painted like there's a waterfall coming across their body. And again, you don't see obvious signs that any of them are slaves either. They seem to be healthy. They show no signs of scarring, no signs of being forced here.
Okay.
And the one painted up like roses and flowers leads you into the foyer and off into a side room. It's got one of those like little portable like foldable wall things there that you can get behind. It's got a couple of things of water and cloths and seats and things to clean up with, and a couple of glasses of pitchers of water and glasses and things. Very nice in here.
Anyone else suspicious yet?
Just a little.
Anytime things get easy, I always feel a little.
People could be painted like anything, hiding anywhere.
As the wall jumps out at you. Ah! Mr. Goliath Man does point out the name of today's session, actually. The name of today's session is definitely not a trap.
Oh no, the lady painted like a bush literally has a bush.
I was definitely expecting the toll plaza to be a trap.
Yeah, I was actually. Well, I should say, I expected you guys to be able to handle the toll plaza guys just fine. It was the second reinforcing troop that was supposed to be the trap. So you're in this room. You're just kind of standing there milling about at the door.
Getting
Cleaning
cleaned
up.
up. Getting
Yeah,
cleaned
I'm
up.
gonna go get behind a screen.
Is there
Getting-
bleach
getting-
for Vera?
What's that again?
Any bleach for Vera?
No, there's no bleach.
These blood stains never come out.
That's why you wear red.
It is indeed red and black. Yes.
And as you guys are cleaning up, so quietly you don't even hear her into the room. But there's just a small little cough, and then you look and see another very elegant looking woman, not nearly so pale as the Ruby Queen, but also dressed in reds and greens and a veil and a gown and a dancer's gymnastics build to her. And she says, "Hello, I'm Queenie. I hear my sister sent you."
Why, yes. Please excuse us. We're all just cleaning up from a long day's walk.
I'm naked.
You did indeed.
She says, "Well, I'm so happy you stopped here tonight. I do have to tell you, you seem to have some friends ahead of you that have been making haste to get somewhere before you."
So we've noticed, and this is nothing new on our journeys.
How
We
many-
certainly appreciate the heads up.
Thank you. Yeah. About how much of a head start do they have?
Well, since none of you guys are riding, they got quite a bit of a head start.
How many?
How many?
Let me. Nope, not that line. You might have heard of her, you might not, but there's a Turanian woman runs an entire cavalry regiment running ahead of you. So society
Great.
check, and don't use your bonus momentum on this.
Who?
Okay.
Me.
Who?
Terrania is a very masculine
No,
society.
no. We said who. We're looking for society. Nobody's rolled yet.
Oh, I don't care. Somebody.
Yeah. Who's got a good society roll?
That would be me.
That'd be
Oh, what just happened? It looks like, did Zenniage roll, or did was that my computer?
was
just
already
catching
there.
up?
That was already
Okay.
there. I haven't seen your roll. There we go. Ooh.
Wow.
3 successes. I
Okay.
got 3 successes.
Okay. Well, with that, just from that sentence right there, Terrania is a very masculine-dominated society. The idea of having a woman military commander, let alone a cavalry military commander, which Terranians are known for their horse raiders, is unheard of. That there would be a female Terranian cavalry captain of some sort. You haven't heard of this in particular, but just that statement right there tells you that there is that
This one's unique.
this one is unique. That this
I
one
smell a
is
boss battle.
unique. She says that she gives a name. I haven't written down this person's name yet. I never actually named this villain yet. So
A villain?
But she says, "Why, yes, some of her folks that stayed here some of her folks that stayed here and at my sister's establishment just had so much to say behind closed doors."
What were
Did
some
it-
of those things?
Did it involve whips and chains or feathers?
Verai, do a thievery check for me. Actually, either of you from Zamora, do a thievery check. Or both of you, I don't care. Somebody. Okay, he succeeds your thievery check. He succeeds it well enough for your thievery check there. The way she said they had plenty of things to say behind closed doors. If you didn't suspect it before, there appears to be a reason she has so much staff constantly intermingling at all times with all of the guests, and why they do such encouraging things to have people talking about troop movements and rumors and mercenaries, especially in the barracks where the soldiers like to get drunk and talk freely.
And why people are painted as doors and things.
So that they can be walked through.
Mm-hmm.
The way she says that, she doesn't make note, but you can tell that she is revealing to you a secret. It might be an open secret, but she is revealing to you a secret about just what she meant when she said love and a lot of blackmail.
Yeah. Makes sense to me. If I were to want to settle down, I could understand a place like this. So we know lots of people are coming for it, or lots of people are ahead of us trying to beat us to a location.
A Turanian cavalry regiment, or at least a mercenary Turanian cavalry regiment.
Yeah.
Numbering roughly how many?
What did you say? A regiment.
She says that a handful of them stayed there, but she doesn't house companies of mercenaries.
Oh, so there are there were a handful that stayed there but then left.
Yes.
Okay.
They can't handle a company full.
And none of them are still here?
Seem to put a fire under their butts.
Did they have any discernible logos amongst themselves, or they can be identified from other regiments of Terrania?
There's not a whole lot of regiments led by. There's not a whole lot of cavalry regiments led by a Turanian woman.
Correct. But at the same time, if they had scouts or those following up behind that were of the same regiment that might still have the same emblem, they would not obviously be led by a woman.
I'll tell you this. She might act like an independent, but she reports to somebody.
Everyone reports to somebody.
Especially if the price is high.
Well, anybody else have any thoughts?
Just one. Why are you and your sister so willing to help us?
She kind of looks around at the group of you, and she goes, she says, I guess she just has a soft spot for dancing gentlemen, as she looks at Tiber.
Oh yes, he's quite the twinkle toes, that one.
For anybody with even a single point of focus and insight, you know that is not the truth. I mean, it might be true, but that is not the truth.
How many sisters are you?
The two of us.
You from Zamora originally?
Oh, that's where we came of age.
Asked. I couldn't hear you over my husband. Can you say that again?
She says that's where we came of age.
My apologies.
So, is this, I would assume, a place for honest corruption to be rolled?
Depending on what you're trying to do, but it very well could be, yeah. Honestly, she's not being corrupt with you. You're not catching signs of corruption.
Right, I'm not.
But she definitely deals in.
Yeah, she deals in that. And I'm really trying to figure out her angle in that, whether she's actually helping us, or if she's serving her own purposes
It could be both.
Can we even trust that she and her sister are telling us the truth, right?
Insight, I guess honest thievery is how you can tell the trustworthiness of somebody. So yeah, I'd allow that roll.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to glitch it,
Interacting for the first time, a 3D1 thievery or counsel. So I just need one success out of a 2D20. Is that?
I think it's just one success, and then you can tell general trustworthiness. Yeah, make a free D1 thievery or counsel test to gain a general feel for the trustworthiness of the NPC. So yeah, that's definitely more than one success. The feeling that you get from her is she does. Why she is doing these things, you don't understand. But she does seem to be. There doesn't seem to be malice or treachery to her. She seems to be being trustable.
Okay. The no malice. That's a good way of defining that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really just wanting to make sure that they're not leading us into something to serve their purposes, not,
You don't sense any hint of malice or deception other than just the open secrets sort of deceptions.
Yeah. They still have their own personal agenda of some sort, but it's not something that's directly trying to bring harm to us. I get you.
Right. Why she's helping you, her and her sister, no idea. She does seem, the Ruby Queen in particular, does seem to have a fondness for Tiber, so maybe that's it.
Did we ask which one of these sisters is older?
You have not. You can.
Yeah. Not older, but who's the head sister?
Oh, Ruby's the head sister.
Ruby's the head sister, and you're both Ruby?
No, I'm Queenie.
Oh, you're Queenie, she's Ruby. Okay. That works. I get you. All right, the Ruby Queen. That's.
But remember, you can call her Rue.
Oh, that's.
You get to call her Rue.
Do I get to call you anything?
Call me Queenie.
Okay, just checking.
No, you don't get to call Queen.
Queen.
Call me later.
Queen.
I've never struck out with two sisters before.
All right, we've got just a few minutes left before we wind up here. So, questions, last-minute acts, and other things before we wind down for the evening.
How many horses are in the stables, and could we lift at least 6 of them quickly?
There are horses in the stables. I don't recommend thieving from the Ruby Queen, though.
No. Not from the Ruby Queen, but maybe a couple of her patrons.
You have that option if that's what you really want to do, which is GM speak for my precious.
Go ahead, try it. Yeah.
Are we missing something very, very important while we were out?
I mean, other than him getting drugged?
No.
No.
No, there was the time that him and I were both out, and everybody else.
Where is your painting, Thornicius?
Yeah, so that was an important session with Isaac Darren the Elder, where you guys got a lot of information, but it did kind of get boiled down to there was a few things that we didn't talk about. There was a meeting with the religious guys, the high priests, and opposing rival high priests, and suspicious activities, and lots of things kind of went down on that session. Rival high priestdoms.
Oh, great. We're caught up in politics again.
Everything is politics.
That's the most dangerous
In
part of this game.
In this nation, Yes, that was kind of the point of this nation in this chapter of the story.
Sorry about that.
All right. Well, then, in that case, ladies and gentlemen, do I have some announcements for you? Let's see. Today is the 26th, which means tomorrow is Wednesday the 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Having hauled tail from Jigao for no reason whatsoever, Voltar's Banditos, of which I am the druid, have started their way down the Emerald Loop towards the city of Bazazan, Bazistan, and are finding sometimes the trip can be more daunting than the destinations. Oh, good. You're going to be back with us tomorrow, Goliath? Good, because last time you lightning bolted some suckers. And they are finding sometimes that the trip can be more daunting than the destination. Will they make it to Bazikzan alive? Find out in this week's episode of Call of the Netherdeep, episode 6, with friends like these. On Thursday, the 27th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, watch the adventure and terror on and below the surface of Rifts, Earth's oceans. A new Rifts adventure, the Sea Wolves. On Friday, the 28th, have we met again? Yes, but I will have some work done before we first meet next week. Where is this conversation going? Join Simon the Cat and Rufus the Robot and help them write a new Star Trek story titled Nip and Tucker on Architects of Fate Cookie Trek, Friday the 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern. Sunday, the 1st at 9 p.m., we have the Tomb of Annihilation. The party has made contact with a traitorous red wizard, Zagmira, who has promised to get them the remaining puzzle cubes from the red wizard camp if they can secure the remaining cubes from the area around Ras Nasi's compound. Al-Adin secreted away with Zagmira under the guise of a sentient magical ring, while the rest of the party traveled back to one of the remaining shrines and solved a fiendish puzzle with teleporting pools of onion oil, secret doors, and matching torches. Now it's on to the next shrine, but not before investigating the sudden explosion outside. And on next Monday the 2nd, 8:30 p.m., Into the Light, the team finds itself mostly reunited in the presence of one of the orbs. But which one? Find out on Monday. And finally, next Tuesday, we will be back again for Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of. So with that, we love you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Beware of witches.
Stick around for the raid. Be kind. Be cool.